Man, the latest Smash Brothers game has a lot of characters to choose from. I can be Simon Belmont from Castlevania, Pit from Kid Icarus, a random kid with a gun, and even a green Mega Man. Wait, did Nintendo just do Captain N the Game Master the right way? Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. I was going to do a different intro talking about the history of Smash, but I think I will wait until later to do that. If Nintendo ever puts the original Smash on the N64, I would love to talk about how fun that game is, as well as Melee. All you need to know though about Smash in this video is I'd like to credit two men for creating this. The first is Masahito Sakurai, who created Kirby and still works on the series. The second man who helped with the idea is the late great Satoru Iwata, who after creating this game would eventually move to become a major executive in Nintendo and eventually the CEO of Nintendo, helping create systems like the Nintendo DS, Wii, and even the 3DS before his passing in 2015. Sakurai is still with us though and doing a lot of works on projects including Smash, and I can understand why he used the word ultimate. This really is a shining gem in the Smash series. And just looking at the franchise from when it came out 20 years ago on the N64, which it was just celebrating some of Nintendo's mainstay franchises, to where it is now, where it not only celebrates Nintendo's first-party franchises, both big and small, new and old, but basically celebrates any IP that was on a Nintendo console that became big. We're no longer talking about Mario or Star Fox, we're also talking about games like Shantae to Final Fantasy. All of these different series are celebrated in one form or another in this game, and it's just really awesome. So let's start off with describing the story and its story mode, and what I liked and didn't like about it, and talk about what makes the rest of this game really special. The story starts off with some ball of light named Galeem taking over the video game universe and zapping several key video game characters' way. There is some voice acting, but I do believe it's ripped right off from Star Fox 64 at the beginning.
Don't let a single one get away!
Anyways, after zapping and enslaving all the characters, said ball of light creates a new world to rule. However, it looks like one character got away. That character is Kirby, and it's up to Kirby to go out and save the day. A lot of the characters that were captured and forced into the world by Galeem are now no more than spirits, and if you save them, you can then equip them, and they can increase your power in battle. But some of the stronger characters, if they can be snapped out of his control, can be made playable. These are how you get to your 70 to 80 characters that are on your main non-DLC roster. If you want to play as the DLC characters in the story mode, they'll become available after you beat 10 characters and unlock them in the story mode. And by the way, this is the fastest way of unlocking all the characters for all the other modes, because if you don't complete story mode, the only thing you'll have when you first boot up is the 8 characters that were in the N64 original. So if you want to unlock all the characters and you want to do it really fast, put some time in the adventure mode. Beyond the first few scenes, there isn't much of a story per se. You just travel the board, meet and collect spirits, and continue onward. The few cutscenes that happen during major moments aren't voiced and are super short. This doesn't have a lot of narrative, but it's a fighting game. Not having a narrative is actually kind of a good thing. Anyways, each spirit that you run across on this adventure board is a character from a game, and kind of like a very watered down version of Kingdom Hearts, you don't know who or what you're going to meet as far as the spirits go. Spirits range from Sigma from Mega Man X to Shantae to plenty of side characters from Metroid, Mario, and Zelda. There's characters from Metal Gear. There's just a lot of spirits and characters to meet in this game, and that was part of the fun that kept me playing through Adventure Mode, just seeing what the next spirit was, what game. It was kind of addicting. There are, like I said, tons of Easter eggs to find as well, just going through and unlocking different parts of the world, and it was a simple charm that had me keeping on playing through this adventure mode. And again, the spirits you unlock, what they do is you can equip them to your fighter. They can make them stronger, but some give you special abilities, like you can start off with the weapon, or they increase your special attack, etc. Some spirits can even evolve if you use them enough. You can train to alter their stats in various ways by unlocking dojos, and you can even dismiss them for cores to power up other spirits or even summon. And if you're lazy, you can always stick them into Doc's Gym once you unlock it in the adventure mode, and they will level up automatically even when you're not playing. You can use the spirits on regular multiplayer modes as well if you want, but I haven't seen a lot of people use or talk about this feature, and I think it's a really great idea in the single player adventure mode to give it some RPG elements, to add new ways of fighting as you go through this 30 plus hour adventure mode. But it's not something I'd really want to experiment on multiplayer mode. Great idea for a single player mode, great idea for a local multiplayer mode maybe, but I don't know if it's complex enough to really stick into an online multiplayer game, especially one that's technically a fighting game like Super Smash Bros. So I can kind of understand why a lot of the community avoids this aspect when it comes to the online multiplayer. But to add extra curves into an adventure mode that is over 30 hours long, these spirits are a great idea. And by the way, I'm not joking, the adventure mode is 30 hours long. But it's not just as simple as moving around this map and defeating random spirits. There are dungeons with puzzles that have to be solved. Some look like they come from Mega Man Battle Network. Donkey Kong Country's first stage is represented as one of the maps. Zelda's Spirit Realm is a map that you'll have to traverse, and you even have a Castlevania board that looks like the map from the first game. Yeah, you heard me right, a board that looks like the map of the original Castlevania, and you even have to fight Dracula at the end. You know what this means? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is also the best Castlevania game we've had in a decade, and probably the best one that's used a Konami license, period. With over 30 hours plus a new game plus and several RPG elements and just a ton of spirits to collect, I found it interesting, simple but interesting, as this map has some cool callbacks. You can see a main city from Pokemon X and Y was trapped in this world, and even Nintendo consoles show up in some of these places. It's just a really fun mode to go through. It's super simple, there is no real narrative, it's just a really fun mode to go through. So outside of the story and spirit board modes, what is it actually like to play Smash for those who haven't experienced it? To put it simply, Smash Bros. Is probably the most accessible fighting game ever made. To fight, simply press a button and move an analog stick, and the moves that come out feels like what the characters would do. Press B with Mario and he'll throw a fireball. Press up and B and he'll do an uppercut. A's will throw fast punches like you see in Super Mario 64. It's just that simple for most of the characters. If you played action JRPGs like Tales of Vesperia, you're already 90% of the way of figuring out how to play Smash. Like I said, it's a low bar to enter and understand the game, unlike most fighting games that require a lot of really great timing and memorization of the button presses. But the engines and the techniques and what you need to know are not dumbed down. Smash Brothers is no button masher. On the contrary, it's probably a game that requires a lot more finesse than most of your typical fighters if you truly want to take the time to go pro on it, figuring out the weight of your characters, how their moves work, although simple to put them in and use, to really master it, knowing how to defend, knowing the timing to do quick dodges, and right time to do smash moves. The hardcore players really have to practice their stuff in this game. As for me, I'm nowhere near that good, but I can see where practice pays off. This isn't one of those times where you could spend hundreds of hours trying to perfect a character in a fighting game and then lose to an amateur just mashing buttons. Again, most characters follow the same button moves, but Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter do have a way of inputting their actual fighting button combos, do a bit more powered up versions of their moves, and I love that little extra Easter egg using those characters because I like playing them as Street Fighter 2 characters. And of course, the most difficult character I found out of the 90 plus so characters on the roster would probably have to be Dragon's Quest Hero. Why? Because number one, they stuck a magic gauge on him, limiting some of his moves, so you can't spam special moves as much as you could at some of the other characters. But a lot of his magic spells have to be done by pressing down and B and then selecting a magic while praying you don't get hit. That says he makes up with it with moves like Booms, Whack, and Thwack, which all can be very deadly if timed and used correctly. And of course, there are also weapons like baseball bats, more types of guns now that I can think of as being warranted for a game like this. You even have missile launchers and something called a rage blaster that can actually increase damage if you get hurt. And then there's, of course, assist trophies that let you summon another character to join you in battle. Some, like Alucard, take the field like a regular fighter and assist you. Others, like Majora's Moon, just do a big attack move similar to the Pokeballs that were in past Smash Brothers games. By the way, speaking of the Moon, he does trash everybody. And for those yelling Waluigi didn't make it in, he's been here since the beginning, has an assist trophy. If that's not clear, he's not going to be playable in this version. I don't know what is. And of course, each course has a unique theme to it with different obstacles and things that can come up and cause damage or for you to fall off the field if you're not paying attention. So, of course, the courses themselves are unique for the most part. Some of the DLC courses, like Sora's here, is a basic battlefield with the background changing, but others are much more in-depth stages, and all the stages in the past games have made a comeback. Love the N64 stages? They're here. Love the 3DS stages? They're here. Basically, everything is here for the most part. I will admit I haven't played with all the characters though, but can you blame me? There's 90 of them. But the ones I still played as are all unique, feel like what they should, and they are balanced enough to be fun. I really enjoyed all the characters that I did play. There is also still a single-player arcade-like mode, and each mode is designed around the character. For example, choose Sheik, all the enemies have masks on. Sephiroth battles all the boss enemies just to prove he's a badass. The hero from Dragon Quest has him fighting a bunch of Kirby's at the beginning representing blue and red slimes, and then at the end of the game he fights a weak mage from Fire Emblem that is really easily KO'd, followed up by a purple Charizard. Yeah, I would say that is a very callback to the original final boss of the original Dragon Quest. Great job on that, Nintendo and Sakurai. Overall, with tons of mode and an adventure that's not bogged down too much in story, but has a lot to offer as far as exploration and collecting, a good arcade-style mode, loads of other multiplayer and single-player modes, plenty of stuff to unlock. Smash can keep one busy for a very long time if they want to collect and see everything the game has to offer. If there are some negatives, I don't like about the new Ultimate, it would be small things, like I don't like the fact that they increase the explosion when a character gets KO'd from the side. It's a bit too big and distracting. I understand that they need to be flashy as well, but this kind of KO animation kind of ruins the whole point of Smash. You're not dead until you leave the screen, and the extra large explosions, like I said, just kind of feel a bit distracting. And there's even tons of online modes. I didn't really take my game online. I really don't like playing these type of games online because I know I'm going to get my butt whooped. But what's here for online offerings is also good. So to put it simply, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's a really huge game with a lot to offer, worth checking out. The amount of work to put this many characters into a crossover fighting game and have it coming out looking this good is amazing. And I have to praise Sakurai and his team and how consistent they are. I can't imagine how hard it is to mesh different characters from different franchises and genres. Animal Crossing has very little to do with Street Fighter, and having those characters appear on screen and look natural and feel like it should work takes a lot of work and value for the presentation, and Sakurai and his group Sora went the extra mile. The characters and their models are fantastic. The backgrounds on the stage look all well detailed and are all really memorable. The action offline at least stays steady. The animation and the characters all look on point. It's not that these characters are brief cameos, they are all shown with the same respect, and it feels like you're actually using them when you choose one of them as your fighters. While there was some excellent work on the graphics, let's talk about how the music and their choices in it are even better than their graphical decisions. Smash has always tried to do remixes and medleys based on the game franchises. No difference here. Mario and Zelda have enough music that you can choose from with various soundtracks for their stages to probably fill up an entire CD. While even some of the other third-party games like Mega Man and Dragon Quest have their fair amount of tracks. Mega Man, you have several stage themes. Some of them are done classic 8-bit, other remix, and you even have music from spin-off series like Mega Man X. It's just insane the amount of music and work they did to make the tracks fit the stage and the characters. As for voices, some characters who have had voices still have voices. Mario still sounds like Mario. A few have stayed quiet and don't say any words, like, say, regular Samus from Metroid. And yes, I do know about Other M. We don't talk about Other M. Cloud and Sephiroth have their Japanese voices, and some of the Pokemon are still using recordings from previous Smash Brothers that were done during the 4Kids days of the anime. But still, the voices and sound just help sell the crossover, and that this isn't some sort of cheap cash-in. It's why it's beloved by so many people. Nintendo rarely drops their prices on their games for the Switch, and when they do, it's a quick weekend sale where $20, maybe $30 if you're lucky, may be dropped. Smash is worth waiting for those deals, but even if you go in for a full $60 and spend another $50 for the DLC, you're not getting ripped off. The quality is there. The game is fun. If you have a few people who you can get around the couch for a night of gameplay, you're in for a treat. I love this game, and it's well worth the $60 asking price that Nintendo is asking for. As far as Sakurai leaving the series after this is done, I don't blame him. Dude worked his ass off for several years on this, and I can understand why he wouldn't want to put himself and his health through this process again. So is it true that Smash can't exist without him? My thoughts are yes and no. Making a good platforming fighting game has been done before. Next time I want to take a look at one from Nickelodeon, I also purchased. Gameplay wise, it's rock solid. but where these fail and Smash succeed is that extra layer of polish that Sakurai and his team put in them. For music being authentic or remixed so it sounds like it would be better for the action in Smash. Due to making the character models look good and making sure that they're authentic to both the series and to Smash, finding that middle line, making sure that good voice acting is there. Sakurai did all that, and it just shows through in the presentation. A lot of these people who want to phone in these games seem like they think that if they go cheap on the presentation, no one will notice. But because of that, I don't think Smash has anything to worry about being dethroned or replaced anytime soon in this platform fighting genre.